Whispers of the Unknown, a middle school nightmare. I was just 13, navigating the dull corridors of my small middle school. Little did I know that monotony was about to be shattered by a chilling ordeal that would etch itself into my memory forever. It all began on an ordinary day, during my least favorite class, English. The routine of lectures and mundane reading stretched on until an unexpected disturbance echoed through the silence. A loud beep emanated from the speaker, jolting us from our literary stupor. Confusion lingered as the speaker announced an unforeseen lockdown. The atmosphere shifted from boredom to bewilderment, and the realization hit me like an icy breeze: danger had breached our haven. In the ensuing chaos, my teacher swiftly took command, instructing us to huddle against the wall. He fumbled to secure the door and extinguish the lights, but the abrupt power outage left us enveloped in darkness. A few girls succumbed to tears, their sobs amplifying the palpable tension in the air. Minutes stretched into an eerie silence before a sudden cacophony of footsteps thundered down the hallway outside our classroom. The footsteps abruptly halted, plunging us into an unbearable suspense. As we held our breath, a desperate banging on the door shattered the stillness. A boy pleaded for refuge, and my teacher, gripped by fear, cautiously allowed him in. I recognized him vaguely, a face seen in passing through the corridors, but we had never shared a class. Whispering anxiously, I sought an explanation from the newcomer. His tale unfolded like a nightmare. Trapped in the bathroom during the lockdown, he had encountered a middle-aged man, a sinister figure pounding on stall doors. The boy, seized by terror, managed a daring escape, but the revelation cast a sinister shadow over our supposedly safe haven. As we grappled with the chilling revelation, ominous footsteps resonated outside our door. Muffled sobs and stifled cries filled the room, amplifying the terror that gripped each one of us. A solitary bang on the door pierced through the air, heralding the arrival of an imminent threat. Multiple sets of footsteps joined the ominous symphony outside, voices hushed but pregnant with danger. Unable to discern their words, we could feel the menace that lurked just beyond the door. Panic surged as the realization dawned: a group of malevolent intruders had invaded our sanctuary. Then, a collective gasp as one of the men bellowed, and the footsteps receded. Relief washed over the room, but tension lingered like a spectral presence. The distant sound of sirens announced the arrival of the authorities, finally putting an end to our harrowing ordeal. We remained huddled against the wall, our sanctuary transformed into a fortress of fear, for what felt like an eternity. The dim light flickered, casting eerie shadows across strained faces. Whispers of uncertainty lingered, threading through the air like an unseen specter. With each passing minute, the weight of the unknown pressed upon us, and the silence became a breeding ground for our anxieties. The boy who sought refuge shifted uncomfortably, his eyes darting nervously, as if haunted by the memory of the bathroom encounter. The air, once thick with tension, now bore the weight of unspoken fears. My teacher, usually a beacon of assurance, struggled to conceal his unease. His gaze flickered between the door and the faces of the frightened students, mirroring the internal conflict that gripped each of us. In the midst of our collective trepidation, the school's infrastructure groaned, a haunting reminder of vulnerability. The creaks and moans of the building seemed to echo the unsettled murmurs of our thoughts, creating an otherworldly ambience that heightened our fear. Outside, the world seemed to hold its breath, as if the very walls of our sanctuary held secrets that longed to break free. The distant wail of sirens persisted, a discordant melody underscoring the fragile nature of our existence. The very fabric of our reality had been torn, exposing us to the malevolence that lurked in the shadows. Eventually, the all-clear was given, and the ordeal was dismissed. The truth unveiled: a group of nefarious men posing as parents had infiltrated our school, instigating a terrifying episode that would forever haunt the corridors of my memory. The innocence of my small school shattered, replaced by a lingering unease that would shadow my every step, a constant reminder of the day danger infiltrated the halls of monotony. Nightmare on Retail Street, Chronicles of Chaos and Sanctuary. 2 years ago, an unsettling night unfurled, one that transcended the boundaries of mundane existence, casting me into a realm of horror akin to the scripts of dark cinematic tales. Unlike the typical school lockdowns, my harrowing experience unfolded during the twilight hours of my retail job in Des Plaines, a suburban enclave nestled north of Chicago. The day commenced like any other until my coworker unearthed the unfolding chaos. News stories about riots emanated from the city due to a police incident, and the unsettling reality was projected onto our store screens. Riots, a seething storm of chaos, were ransacking the city, breaking into stores, and unleashing anarchy upon unsuspecting employees. As the clock neared 6 o'clock, the scale of the protests swelled, engulfing the city in turmoil. The specter of destruction loomed as talk spread about the unrest creeping into the suburban outskirts, including our peaceful haven in Des Plaines. Watchful and on edge, I observed customers, sensing the tension escalating in tandem with the chaos outside. By 8 o'clock, the city was ablaze, and my coworkers, unnerved by the escalating situation, abandoned their posts early. Our understanding manager permitted their departure, but I, with a tinge of naivety, chose to stay, tethered to the hope that normalcy would prevail. A little past 8, as I diligently stocked products in the far left aisle, distant yelling pierced the air. Curiosity drew me to the front, where I could barely decipher the chaos through the store windows. The intercom blared, commanding a lockdown, a directive that should have compelled me to retreat. But against my better judgment, I inched forward, only to realize the front doors were already sealed. Outside, a chilling sight unfolded. A horde of people, like malevolent shadows, pounded on the glass, trying to breach the fortress that was our store. The realization struck like an electric shock. The mundane had metamorphosed into a nightmare. Sprinting to the back, I joined a flood of employees and customers ushered into the large refrigerated room, an improvised sanctuary against the impending storm. In the refrigerated cocoon, a sense of safety mingled with the specter of uncertainty. With the door sealed, questions loomed: would the door withstand external pressures? As panic rippled through the room, I found myself pondering the potential duration of our captivity. What if a menacing mob lingered outside? The confined space accommodated a multitude, their apprehension tangible. My manager, a beacon of reassurance, attempted to quell rising fears. Yet, the symphony of destruction from within the store reverberated, shattering, falling, screams and yells. Real terror enveloped us as the pandemonium inched towards our sanctuary. Footsteps echoed outside the refrigerated room, followed by an unnerving silence. Then, a violent jolt as the door rattled under the force of someone attempting entry. The outside world demanded our surrender. Voices screamed, banged, and pleaded. In the stifling darkness, we huddled, attempting silence amidst the cacophony. For a relentless 15 minutes, the onslaught continued. The banging and screaming echoed through the room, reaching a crescendo. Frustration permeated the air as some impersonated authority figures, trying to coerce us into submission. The psychological warfare unfolded until a gradual lull descended, their attention diverted elsewhere. The subsequent half-hour passed like a slow-motion nightmare. Occasional thuds on the door signaled intermittent threats, and the terror persisted. An hour of agonizing uncertainty transpired before the police, like ghostly saviors, cleared the building. The refrigerated room door creaked open, revealing a ravaged store, shelves overturned, products scattered like forgotten memories. The violence, as far as I knew, dissipated overnight in the suburbs, while Chicago endured the storm for days. The aftermath, however, lingered as a haunting memory, a testament to the fragility of peace shattered by the howls of chaos. In the end, the store stood, battered but resilient, and all those confined within emerged physically unharmed, though forever marked by the surreal night that transpired. The echoes of that night resonated through the aisles and the minds of those who bore witness, leaving an indelible imprint on the fabric of their lives. Labyrinth of Shadows, a high school lockdown chronicle. A few years back, During my sophomore year of high school, an unsettling chapter unfolded, casting shadows over the seemingly ordinary corridors of my alma mater. My school, a behemoth in terms of student and faculty numbers, stood as a sprawling maze, harboring mysteries that would soon unravel in a tale that continues to haunt my memories. Situated in the annals of a public high school well known for its size and high graduation rates, each of the 4 classes boasted over 1,000 students, and the faculty equaled that number, resulting in a staggering 5,000 people navigating its labyrinthine halls. It was amidst this bustling environment that the events transpired, a surreal sequence that left indelible imprints on the collective psyche of those who experienced it. As the day unfolded, following the usual rhythm of morning classes, lunch, and the commencement of the second half of the day, I found myself immersed in a physics class project conducted outdoors. A momentary inclination led me back inside under the guise of a bathroom break. Little did I realize that this trivial decision would soon thrust me into an ordeal that defied the bounds of normalcy. Within the confines of the bathroom, a tall, older man in a nondescript gray hoodie entered, his stoic gaze piercing through me. A palpable silence enveloped the space as he gravitated towards the farthest stall. An uneasy feeling settled, but amidst the vast sea of unfamiliar faces in the colossal school, the encounter registered as a mere blip on my radar. Drying my hands, I stepped back outside, blissfully unaware of the ominous thread weaving its way into the fabric of the day. 15 minutes later, as the class reconvened outdoors, our physics project faced an abrupt interruption. The routine was shattered when the intercom blared an unexpected directive. The entire facility was under lockdown. Confusion gripped us, and urgency propelled us forward as we embarked on the 4-minute walk back to our classroom. Midway through our journey, another teacher emerged, extending an offer of refuge in their larger room. Huddled against the wall, we anxiously awaited clarity while our teachers exchanged hushed conversations about the unfolding situation. In the midst of uncertainty, my thoughts circled back to the mysterious man in the bathroom, a disconcerting connection that cast shadows over our collective unease. Within the confines of the larger classroom, the silence became an accomplice to the palpable tension. A soft tapping on the window disrupted our thoughts. Frozen, we heeded our teacher's gestures to remain silent. The tapping persisted, accompanied by slow footsteps echoing down the hallway toward our sanctuary. A pause, and then a voice pierced the quiet, claiming knowledge of our presence. Panic stirred within us, amplified by the raucous cries from fellow students. The man outside grew more aggressive, his words laced with profanity, his banging on the door escalating. The sound suggested a tool, perhaps a hammer, amplifying our terror. A minute passed in a symphony of fear before an unexpected intervention. Another man, previously silent, yelled for the aggressor to desist, insisting they needed to depart immediately. The approaching sirens of police cars echoed through the front of the school, but the assailant at our door persisted for another agonizing half-minute before abruptly retreating, the echoes of his footsteps dissipating down the corridor. The police apprehended one of the intruders upon his exit, but the second man eluded capture. When the authorities released a photo of the apprehended man, I failed to recognize him. My mind, however, incessantly returned to the haunting figure in the bathroom, wondering if he was the elusive second intruder, forever escaping justice. The prevailing theory painted a grim picture, an attempt to pilfer valuable equipment from the science classrooms. Yet, amidst the fear and chaos, the true motives remained shrouded in mystery, a lingering enigma that added an extra layer of horror to the ordeal. The incident left an indelible mark on my high school memories, a chilling reminder of the fragility of security and the mysteries that may lurk within the seemingly ordinary corridors of daily life. The echoes of that day continued to resonate through the halls, a haunting testament to the thin veil that separates the mundane from the extraordinary.